Good morning. It is day 2 of Camp Nano. Jessica here. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I'm still working on outlining book 2 and drafting book 1 of my Project Elemental series, and yesterday was a success, so I'm gonna repeat that same process. So I'm gonna go through and write down what I should work on today in my writer's notebook. I don't know what I would do without my notebooks, to be honest. So I'm just gonna quickly go through. I'm gonna take the next 2 scenes. I'm gonna write down the characters involved, the settings, the goal of that scene, and if it's a fight scene, what are the stakes? I don't think they're fight scenes yet, though. I think that happens in the second half. And then just a quick short summary of what the scene's about, and then what points I want to hit during that scene. So I'm going to quickly do that. We are going to be doing scenes 3.1 and 3.2. So let's see real fast. Yeah, I also have my handy note card thing here. So yeah, we're gonna so section 3, I guess, what do you call it? Section 3? Well, either way, I'm going to call it. Section 3 is all about the setup of your book. So, and it usually has about 5, I think. Yeah, 5 scenes in it to work through to set up your novel. At least that's what I gathered from Save the Cat. So, we're going to do the first scene and the second scene of the setup. I'm just looking over my cards right now, so I'm going to jot those down, and then I will come back once that's done. Okay, so here is the monthly calendar. I wrote down the 2 scenes we have to work on for the setup for book 1, and then right here is just a note to put what scenes I'm working on for the outline of book 2, and it looks like this is the color of the day. So now I'm just gonna flip it. Not much else has changed since yesterday, obviously, because I haven't done anything else since yesterday. I need to skip all these pages, and now we are on the blank page. So I'm just gonna kind of show you how I set it up before I fill out the information, I guess. Really, it's just the summary part that I can't show you guys. So, yeah, let's see. I don't really just want to use the black pen, but I might have to, depending on, does this highlight well? We're about to test it out. Not that this part really matters. It's just, I might have to use the black today because of how dark that is. That's fine. All right. So, what I do at the beginning of day number 2, April 2nd, 2022, and highlight. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this page because I already know. I designate a page per scene that I'm working on, at least. It shouldn't be more than that because that's what drafting is for. So just on the very first page, I am going to do like a mini checklist of what I want to get done. Even though it's on the calendar too, this is just the way my brain works. Repetitive notes to self makes it to where I make sure I get things done. Sorry, maybe I'll just turn you guys since I have to write a little bit crooked. What'd I say? There we go. Does that work? Does it? Probably not. All right, there we go. So this is the note card that I was referring to yesterday, of the different things that I could jot down on these pages when I go to kind of work through the scenes. So I'm gonna set that there. But first, the checklist. I keep getting ahead of myself. What'd I say? Oh yeah, draft. Okay, so the point system is not part of Save the Cat. I do that just so that I know that it's still part of the same section, if that makes any sense. Like there's 5 scenes for section 3. So 3.1 is the first scene, 3.2 is the second scene, and so on and so forth. Yesterday when I did 1.1 and 2.1, that just means there was the one scene in each of those sections, and it just helps me kind of put things in its own compartments and organizational whatever. I don't know, my brain's just, that's just my brain. All right, so those are the 4 things that I want to get done today. And now I'm going to write, let's see. Scene 3.1, setup. And then highlight that. I actually think this one's a little too dark, but it's fine. I really like the colors, so we're gonna go with it. So the characters. So now I'm gonna go through and write out what I feel like I need to know for this scene. All right, so I wrote out the 2 scenes that I'm gonna do, and I know I said it yesterday, and then both scenes ended up being close to the word count goal, but this first scene is gonna most likely be way over just because of the amount of information that's going into it. And then the second one is gonna be only maybe half of that, if half of it. It might be like a fourth of the word count goal because it's more of a transition scene into the next one, because the next scene, sorry, I had to sneeze. Allergies are the worst. I never had them until a couple of years ago. But anyways, so I know that this third scene for the section 3 is going to be a big one. So the second scene that I'm writing today is going to be more of a transition. It's kind of a lot of information has been thrown at my main character, and in this scene it's gonna kind of even it out for her. So basically a lot of shit has happened, right, in such a short amount of time from the beginning, or in the last 3 scenes, that this scene is kind of a return to normal for her while her mind is still reeling. Something like, it gives the main character a break. It gives the readers kind of a break from all the information and shit that just goes down and gets thrown at them, right? So, but we'll see. I mean, it could end up being a lot longer depending on what information I throw in, but I don't want to do a lot of just random things just to fill the page or to fill the word count quota. Does that make sense? So, but yeah, I have it written down. I'm gonna get to writing. So, yay for day 2. as I'm working on this first scene, I'm realizing that with everything going on in the scene, it could actually be split into 2 different scenes. And then the second scene I had originally planned to do today could actually be tacked on to the first scene I'll be working on tomorrow, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm still gonna write it. I'm still gonna do what I need to do. But it's not gonna, when I go to do the word counts for the scenes, so when I write it down here, it's not gonna match up to what the document actually is, or how should I say this actually? Maybe I'll just make a note here. It doesn't have to be perfect. I need to get out of that mindset. So I'm actually going to change this in the notebook to say 3:1/32, and then 3:3 for tomorrow. Basically, I'm gonna be working on 2 scenes and a half today, I guess, because I already kind of know what I'm writing. So I can kind of set myself up for the better tomorrow. I don't know. So yeah, I'm just, yeah, because a lot is going on in this scene that I really could split it into 2. So when I'm fully done with it, I'll let you know. But as of right now, that's how it's going to be, because having it be like 3,500 words, I'm not going to do that to myself. But also, it just doesn't, because there comes a part where it's a very clear, like, end scene here, start scene here. So I don't know, separating into scenes confuses me. I just want to write. I mean, realistically, as a story, a complete story, it's gonna end up the same, in the same order, obviously. But when I'm like documenting it and writing it down, especially when I have to refer back to it, like with the scene counts, or when I finally finish this draft and I start working on the second one, I'm going to be referring to the scene number. And so that's where it's going to be a little bit different in my brain. But that's more of like the administrative side of things, not the reader side of things. So really, it's not going to affect the story at all. It's more of how I interact with the story as the author and doing all the edits and things like that. So yeah, just a quick update. I'm going to keep writing. I think this is one of my favorite scenes that I'm going to be writing. Mainly because I get to tell a story within a story. Okay, so quick update. Kyler and I ended up going outside. So I just sat on our front porch and just typed up a little bit. I got 1,213 words in for scene 3, part 1, I guess. But I don't know if what I'm gonna add is gonna be tacked onto this, or if it is gonna for sure be its own scene. I think the hardest part is that this, like, the setup, like all of part 3, it's got a story within a story and then more added onto it. So I'm gonna take a quick break. I grabbed a second cup of coffee when I came back in, but I'm gonna clean up a little bit, start making lunch, and then think on how I'm gonna do this next. Either way, it's still all gonna flow together when you're reading it, because when you're reading it, it doesn't really get separated, because it's all gonna be, this is, I think, gonna be all in the same chapter anyways, so there's not gonna be a page break, there's not gonna be a break at all. But again, more of like the background work is what I'm trying to figure out how I want to do it. If I'm going to count it as its own scene, which is going to be part of the 56 scenes, or if I'm just going to have an extra one. I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to finish this coffee, make lunch, clean up the house a little bit, and then I'll check back in later. Okay, I think I procrastinated enough. My entire house is cleaned. I did the floors, I swept, I mopped, I vacuumed, did all the dishes, threw out all the garbage. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna write the scene out and then move it where I need it to move to. I guess like it's super easy because it is on Scrivener. I can copy it and paste it in a new scene if I need to, or just leave it as it is. So we had lunch. I just had a salad. I actually still have half of mine left. It's just a sweet kale salad with poppy seed dressing and dried cranberries and other crap that I don't know about, but it was good. So there's that. And then I'm still drinking coffee. Kyler came in and had her lunch, and then now she's back outside playing because it's a nice day out. I have something in my hair. So I'm gonna get back to writing. I'm gonna finish this section, and then I will touch base when I fully decide what's gonna happen with it. But I figured either way I have to write the scene, so I'm just gonna write it out and then go from there. Okay, confession. I've been procrastinating. I wrote a little bit more. I still have a lot to write. I ended up just FaceTiming my mom. I finished my salad. Now I'm eating a little orange. I'm going to charge my phone, write some more, and then touch base with you guys. And hopefully I will have finished the first scene, if not the second scene, by the time I update you guys. So I am officially done writing the first scene of the day. It's a lot of words. In the end, it ended up being 4,195 words, which means that the section that I was confused on whether I wanted it to be its own scene or part of this scene ended up being 2,982 words. So I think I am gonna have it be its own section, its own scene. I don't think I will be able to split it off more than that. Well, I think I can. Towards the end, there's another shift, so I probably could, and then that ending part will go into the next scene. But it was a big one. It was a lot. I procrastinated a lot with it. I stopped. I cleaned. I went outside to check on Kyler. I talked to my mom. There was just a lot about it. There was a lot of information. Again, this scene was a story within a story, so it was just a lot of information that my main character really needed to know, and something that had to happen. So yeah, now I'm gonna take a short break. I'm gonna split this and then come back and work on the second scene of the day. Technically I already did two and a half, because that half I'll figure it out. I mean, again, it's not gonna affect the story of where I split it off. It's more of when I go to edit it or when I go to work on it. I want to be able to have smaller chunks, I guess, to refer to. So yeah, holy crap, that's how many words I've written today so far, by the way. 4,195, and I still have a whole ass scene to do. So let's take a break, another one, and then I'll check back in when I go to write the second one. So what I ended up doing was taking most of 3.1, at least that one scene. So This 3.1 ended up being only 1,213 words. A big chunk of it I moved to 3.2, and that ended up being 2,283. And then I added more. Well, I didn't type up more. I took another chunk towards the end and put it in with 3.3, and that stopped at 699 words. The scene that I originally planned to be 3.2, the one that I said was going to be a very transitional scene, I'm adding it to what I now have as 3.3, as well as what I originally planned for 3.3 to be. I'm just adding it to that, so then it'll probably make up the words that I need, the other 1,000 words. Because when I was looking it over, it ended up like all of them separated would be about the 500 to 700 words. Maybe. We'll see. It's, as I'm writing it, even though I have it planned out, it's not, it's taking on a life of its own, which I love. So I like that I do have a general outline, so if I do go off on a little bit of a tangent, it's not gonna, I'll be able to get back on track because I know where I need to come back to, if that makes sense. So, I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm currently making dinner. So I'm gonna write a little bit more while I wait on that. And then, yeah, I just wanted to quickly update you guys on how it's going. So, yeah, that was a lot of words. And my brain is like tired, but I have more to do. And then I have more outlining to do tonight as well. We're only on day 2, and I already feel like I'm falling behind. I know I'm not, because like I feel like I'm falling behind because I have so much to do, but at the same time I'm right on time, if that makes sense. So, and technically ahead if you go by scene counts, because I'm gonna have 5 scenes done by today, or at least 4.5 instead of just the 4. So I realized it about evens out, because this is approximately 500 short from the goal, and then this is approximately 500 over the goal. So like between these two, I'm right on target. The only thing is that what I've also written that was originally a part of the 3rd scene is now part of the 5th scene as well. I don't know. I feel like I'm confusing you guys, but it makes sense in my head. And I'm going to keep going. So, yeah, actually, I'm happy with that. It works out. All right, friends, I am finally done. In the end, I ended up finishing scene 5 as well. So in total, let's see. So I ended up working on 3 scenes today instead of the 2, only because one of them ended up being way too fucking long. But in total for the day, I ended up with, what the heck? I did that wrong. My brain's fried. Anyways, scene 3 ended up being 1,213 words. Scene 4 was a massive one. It ended up being 2,283 words, and then scene 5 ended up at 1,858 words. Between the 3, adding them all together, the goal for 3 scenes was, all I know is that I'm like 4 words short of reaching the 3 scenes word goal. If I was very rigid about the 1,786 words per scene. So I think I did great today. So tomorrow, that just means I really only have to focus on 1 scene, but I'll probably more than likely just work on 2, keep the momentum going, you know? So it was successful, but today was hard, to be honest. Actually, it was successful, but it was hard. The beginning just has so much information, but I don't want to info dump. Like I wanted it to come about seamlessly, like it just came naturally, I guess. So, but yeah, that is it for today. This video is going up a lot later than the last two, just because it was like an all-day thing, but I am happy with the progress that I made. Let's see. What I meant was like, so today's total is the 5,354 words. Like, holy crap, I wrote over 5,000 words today. But I put it in the wrong spot. So the project total for the month, adding those words to yesterday's, is 8,728 words. That's a lot. That's almost, I'm like 1,300 away from 10,000 in just 2 days. No wonder why my brain is fried. So yeah, I'm gonna end here. I'm gonna save it. I will continue more drafting tomorrow. So I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.